Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to some EVE Online, and in today's video of course we are going to take a look at the new refining operations that are up and running in Dital. So this is not it. The refining operations have moved away from the Citadel and have moved to the right. Over there you can see the Dital refinery up and running. That means that this is really starting to become the incorporated corner. We've got the refinery, the Citadel. Over there we have an asteroid belt. Then up there we have the research Raitaru. Back there to the left of us we have the manufacturing Raitaru. And then over here to the left, which is what I really like, you have a moon, which will hopefully in the future become our moon mining operation. That's basically the plan here. It's starting to get pretty crowded, pretty busy around here. And what I would personally like, what would be really cool of course, if you set your structures like nearby like this, like let's say within 2000 kilometers, you would actually start to see traffic go to and from them. That would be really awesome, and would give a feeling of this being a living corner where a capsuleer or a group of capsuleers is setting up shop basically. One disadvantage, I am going to of course keep lots of my loot in the Citadel, for instance, whenever I'm exploring or things like that, or for special events like boosters, I will keep that in the Citadel. That does mean that I have to do a little bit of extra traveling to and from if I want to get into some mining. But on the other hand, it's also going to keep all of my mining resources separate in this baby right here. I personally think that this is now the best looking structure out there. I think this looks even better than the large refinery. It has its own color. At least this one is a little bit more vibrant with the red. It definitely feels like an industrial refinery, and the details on it, you've got a big ring potentially for the drill of course. Then over here you've got lots of corporation logos, your alliance logo showing at the top right there, but it's a little bit more unique than the others. I like the fact that it's red like this. It's in my opinion, yeah, the best looking one. And there you've got the star actually showing up on the facility. Now, one thing to note, if you're planning to set up your own facility, I had one problem, and that is if I take control, that the first time I activated the refining capabilities, it didn't take, so that was a little bit weird. I still have to fit some defenses and things like that. We'll do that later. But what I did, of course, I put in the two rigs. So you have an asteroid ore grading processor 2, which is worth, I think, like 3 times the hull of this facility itself. That was actually a gift, and that's also the reason why I moved this into an M facility. I didn't want to waste that gift, and so here it is back. And then we also have an ice grading processor 1, just in case we need it. This has definitely changed, right? So this one is good for, let's take a quick look at this, Feldspar, Scordite, Pyroxeris, Plagoclasse, Omber, Kernite, so these are found in Isaac, but it's also worked for Jaspic, Hemorphyte, Hedbergite, Nice, Dark Ogre, Spodumane, so pretty much anything will work here, including Arcanor and Mercosit. And so that used to be different. This used to be like a high-sec or a processor or something like that, where it was really only these guys up to here, I think, that got bonuses from that. And so I have another one that I think was for low-sec stuff, that was still a tick one. So I can add an extra rig here. I'll have to do a little bit of research to see if we can get something in here that is useful for the reprocessing and compression facility. So what I was saying is, first time I put in the rigs, then I put in the reprocessing facility, some fuel, put it online, and to my surprise, the facility itself did not give us the option to refine. So if I release control, when you dock here, this was still grayed out, the reprocessing plant. So after that, my brother came online. We did a little bit of testing, trying to figure out what happened, and basically putting it back offline and back online made everything available after a session change. So my brother also still had to undock and redock in order to finally be able to do that. But now we can do this. I'll quickly show you guys. I'm not going to reprocess this because titanium is pretty big when it comes to moving, but this is now For me, the yield at this reprocessing facility is 76%. I think for HiSec, that's not bad at all. Probably the best available yield. If I'm not mistaken, I of course have some extra bonuses from like an implant and the skills and things like that. But that is back up and running. It's pretty cool. We now have like 43 million ISK in ore here, so what you can also of course always do, which is what I do at the moment with minerals this low, there is absolutely no need, I think, to refine and to bring that to the market right away. So I compress everything, which ups the value a little bit, but definitely makes it much more easy to transport to wherever it is that you plan to sell. And for me, it's of course the trade hub. So that is something that we're doing. And of course, in the ship hangar here now, Rock Shooter, my mining orca, is the ship of choice that I'm placing here. And so if I feel like mining, I'll just dock here in a small ship, take that quick trip over there, then we'll undock in the orca. This is now the look from the facility, pretty good. You can still see it's a little bit to the right, but you can definitely warp straight towards that belt. Let's see here, we'll just take like the midpoint or something like that, because we have some rats, but we also have joint harvests. Let's do a quick show info on that. Joint harvest is from the MR Empire. Okay, if these guys were pirates, then we would of course probably have a forward operating base in the system. And I've actually had my citadel attacked by blood raiders on the very first day of Lifeblood. That's a message that you actually do get by mail, and that almost looks like these guys are shooting off towards the citadel, but they're just not. They're actually turning around there. So that is pretty cool. It would be nice if it were actually interfaced with other nearby structures. And there's the moons that will be available later on. And this is, well, I'm calling it the co-incorporated belt. Of course, it's still a public belt. But considering where everything is located, of course, with now the refinery back there. Let's do this. Let's do this. And kill the pirates first of all. Then, yeah, of course, I have to go look for some nearby asteroids. It's really only one Feldspar asteroid that's nice and close, so we'll take that one. Meantime, the pirates are being cleared from my belt by my drones. That means that Joint Harvest can continue their operations without too much trouble. Sometimes it feels like we have a deal with the NPCs here, because you also often see the Ducia Foundry. So basically, this type of content is if you attack if you wait it out, the miners will eventually call in a hauler for all the ore that they've mined. And then you could attack that hauler for a potential loot drop, of course. But what happens very often, which is really weird, is that the Ducia Foundry haulers, they actually dock and undock at my facilities, which is really funny. Then all of a sudden you've got like a Ducia Foundry hauler right there undocking on the Astrahus, flying around a little bit, maybe going to a belt and then coming back and showing back up at, usually it's at one of the Raitarus actually. Over here or on the research facility, which is to the top right above. Right there is the research facility. And so now I do wonder if they'll take an interest in the first Athenor that is in the system. You can see that from this. So this is our Athenor. The rest is all citadels and engineering complexes. But the service is up and running. You saw the yield right there, should be the best available in HiSec, and hopefully this will be, once again bring some activity to the belt, to this little corner of Amar space. And then, as I've said, the next project is back there. Let's see if I can actually get a view of them from the belt. Normally we should be able to see them. I'm just not really spotting them all too well. Aha, back there you've got a moon, which will become like the second belt for co-incorporated. Right here, of course, I'm then planning to extract chunks from that and make that available to everyone. I think that could be really interesting, especially with the mining ledger. I'll then be able to see what kind of interest there is. Maybe if there are different options to the type of minerals that you can extract. We can try to get a little bit of a market going here when it comes to resource extractions, minerals, ores, compressed ores, and all of that good stuff. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. The first Athanor of Dital is up and running. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.